Wow. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Today we're going to talk about how to reach your extraordinary results. So think about somebody that you follow and then think, do you ever sit and wonder, well, how are they reaching all of these results that they're getting? And instead of, getting into a jealousy or a comparison mode, today we want to talk about how ordinary people can reach those extraordinary results.
Yeah, so we are Jill and Levi Hunsaker from jillandlevihunsaker.com.
And
this
Rex.
is Rex. He's our son. and we asked him to be in this video today because he is just a tenacious fellow, even though he didn't know what that word meant earlier today.
He's going to make a cameo appearance here.
So, how do you get extraordinary results by just being an ordinary person?
So, before we jump into that, let us know where you're joining us from. And if you are catching this live, comment and let's interact. And if you are catching this on the replay, drop us a hashtag replay. So, now back to the question, how do you get those results? Well,
sometimes, at least if you are anything like us, I think we're pretty normal folks. But, sometimes you're just not feeling it. You're not in the mood to try to build a business or whatever it is that you need to do. Sometimes you're not feeling it. So, if you're ever trying to accomplish something and not feeling it, give us a hashtag not feeling it.
So you were talking to me just like an hour ago about not feeling it.
Yeah. So we decided to talk about tenacity, and Levi said, well, why don't you write down a few points? And I said, I don't think I'm that tenacious of a person. And then I thought, well, unless I'm really passionate about something. And so he was just like, okay, well, that's the real stuff. That's what we will share.
What she said to me is, if it was up to me, we might have been done a long time ago with all of this. With
the business stuff.
Right.
Because it's hard sometimes, and it's heavy, and it's a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding. It's just that it ebbs and flows.
Right. And so, that not feeling it attitude, that's going to come in and out of your life. So how do you get past that? Because that's going to be an area where you're going to run into those little walls, those maybe micro walls that you kind of have to push through from time to time. And so that leads us to the second point of never give up. So this guy right here.
Say hello.
Hey, hello. Yeah, I don't give up. Giving up is not okay.
So, for his birthday, we took him and some of his buddies to a skate park, like a nationally recognized skate park. And he just, had it in his mind that he was going to nail this trick while we were there. So tell us about what was going on, what wasn't working, and why you kept going.
I kept going because I wanted to land it. That's pretty much all that went through my head. Just do it.
Just do it. So yeah, he was doing this trick. What was it called?
An impossible.
So he was doing the impossible trick, and I find that amusing because he actually ended up doing it. But I have 60 or 70 recordings of him just going down 6 stairs and just crashing out on his skateboard over and over and over and over. And he was getting kind of pissy.
Yeah, at one point in the videos he said, stop recording me. And, if you've ever felt like that when you're trying to put out content. It happens.
Stop recording me. So, anyway, but this is just that idea of, like, why did you keep going? Why didn't you give up?
Because I wanted to do it.
You wanted to do it, but you said something to me the other day. Did you think you could do it? Did you know you could do it? Did you think you couldn't do it?
I knew I could do it if I tried for a while. I knew I could do it.
So, if you tried for long enough, you knew you'd eventually get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the next thing, is never give up, because if you stick with it long enough and focus on really getting it and improving it, you'll eventually get it. And so the only way to really fail is to give up. So never give up. Drop us the hashtag stick with it if you're getting it. Okay, now the last thing is, well, how do you get to that point of, I knew I could do it if I stick with it long enough?
Oh, I just was gonna tell you not to bump the desk.
See, she even has to tell me what not
Shake
to,
the camera.
like this. So, anyway, I'll stay off of the desk for a minute. But what we want to talk to you about is the way that you can move from the impossible to the inevitable. That idea that I knew if I could stick with it long enough that I'm going to get this, that I'm going to make this business work, that I'm going to grow an awesome team that is really full of go-getters that want to build a business. Do you remember? A lot of people start out at the impossible.
Oh yeah, I have been at the impossible with a few different business startup ideas, and honestly, every time social anxiety got in my way, I would take these challenges from my upline and I would be sending out messages or making calls or whatever it was, but I would make myself physically ill over it. Like, I would do these challenges and then have to sleep for a couple of days, I felt like, just to recover. So it's not always easy, and yet I tried it over and over and over again, because either I'm insane or I know I can do it. I've just got to figure out how to keep going and learn from experience.
So that trick that you did on Saturday, did you, when you first started, did you think you were actually going to be able to do it?
Yeah.
No, when you very first started skating.
Oh, no. Not like... I thought you meant on Saturday before I actually tried. No.
So one of the quickest ways to defeat is to look at somebody who has all of this success up here, and you're just starting out and saying, well, that's impossible. I'm never going to get there. Like, that compare-itis is the fastest way to put yourself into a downward spiral. So instead of getting into that downward spiral, what we want to talk about is, how do you move to the next stage of belief? So this is all about belief. So if you're getting it, drop us a hashtag belief, because the best way to do it is to sample it or to see somebody else that's done it. Maybe you see that person up here that has success and you say, oh, well, I see that it's possible, but maybe for me it's, at this point, it's not likely, it's improbable. So now you've moved on to the from the impossible to the improbable. And what's next?
Then
I just had a brain fart.
It's impossible, improbable,
Possible.
possible,
Possible. Okay. So now
possible.
now you look at it and you say, okay, you keep going, you work harder at it, and you start sampling success. Maybe you have some little wins and you're starting to think, oh, well, yeah, maybe this is possible now. And then you just keep going because you're like, okay, well, now I've had some success and I keep doing the things that are working and get rid of the things out of my routine that aren't working. Well, now I'm starting to see, hey, this might actually be possible. Right? So did you start to say, oh, well, maybe this trick is actually possible for me to do?
After years or two of practice.
So after a little while, after a year or two of practice, he says, and finally you get to this point of, you know what? I'm just going to stick with this long enough until I get it. You've got that strong enough belief that you get to that inevitability, that this is going to happen as long as I don't give up. So
yeah, one thing that I have seen him say is that he just is going to send it.
Full send.
Even if he's going to crash and burn. Because that sometimes you've got to just jump in and make the mistakes to learn from them.
Well, and the best part of making mistakes is that when you learn from them, you know how to do it better. The people that you are looking at that just look like they're having all of these extraordinarily amazing results, they're just ordinary people, just like you. They're just ordinary people, just like us. And when they have those amazing results, it's because they have gone in, done things that they didn't want to do when they weren't feeling it. They have never given up, and they have moved into this, the 5 stages of belief, into this inevitability stage where they're just like, yeah, this is going to happen. I've just got to stick with it and got to do it. And that's how you kind of move forward and get the results that you're looking for.
Zig Ziglar said, I believe success is achieved by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. So, even if you feel like you're just a regular person and you've got a dream, go for it.
So yeah, so let's talk about that again. You're not going to feel it sometimes. Just push through. Never give up. Go through the stages of belief of impossible to improbable to possible to probable to inevitable. The 5 stages of belief. And when you do that, be tenacious. Just keep going, because you know that you can rock this business. We know that you can rock this business. And if you're having doubts or struggles, reach out to us. Drop us a hashtag help below, and we will reach out to you with more information. Let's have a conversation and figure out ways to see where you're kind of feeling stuck, where you're not feeling your business, and move that forward so that you can keep going. So with that, we want to say, go get it, be tenacious, and have a great night.
Good night.
See ya.